Assalamu alaikum and welcome to today's Sufi teachings. We're excited and grateful to have Abdullah Ray Rivers with us today. Abdullah Ray is a clinical psychotherapist, a speaker, a writer, and a master teacher who took hand with Sidi Mohammad al Jamal in the late 1990s. He and his wife Hasna were married by Sidi in 2003. He is the founder of Relationship Remedy, a premium relationship healing program for struggling couples. His unique approach to saving relationships is based on the perfection of divine qualities and the ascension through levels of love to holy essence. You can find links to his website and YouTube channel in the show notes below. His teaching today is Relationship Troubles in Divine Marriage, the Doorway to Healing and Gnosis. Abdullah, welcome, and thank you for being with us today.
Yes, of course. So it's true. It's true. I am a speaker. I've been speaking since I was I don't know, maybe around 2 years old or something, and I've perfected it. I think this is the culmination of all of that time. Why don't we start with a Fatiha? A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim. Sirat al-Ladina an'amta alayhim. Ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladallin. Amen. My beloved Lord, I pray to bring through the teachings of holy union, holy relationship as the doorway to your reality. Inshallah, by your grace and permission only. Amen, amen, amen. So what I wanted to start off with was something perhaps a little different. And these are some passages from Sidi's, this is from the Religion of Unity. So let's see. I want to cultivate a sense of wonder. Allah created many universes within this lower realm. He created the animal kingdom, the human being, the kingdom of solid materials, the world of plants, and the world beneath the ocean and all of its creatures. In the ocean alone, there are 1,000 worlds. Well, I'm looking for a specific quote, but I thought I underlined it. But what he says is that in the ocean, there is a creature that if it revealed itself, it could destroy all of humanity. It is that big. Salam, Linda, your hand is up. Do you want to say something?
I just wanted to ask if you would give us the page numbers when you do readings.
Yes, of course. This is that was on page 19 in the Religion of Unity. Here we go. In the ocean, there is one creature that, if Allah brought it forth, it could destroy the whole earth. Think about that. Right now, in the ocean, there is a creature that if Allah chose to bring it forth, it could destroy the whole earth. Here's another passage. Allah created jinn as well as humans. Do you know how many species there are among the jinn? They multiply. There are thousands and thousands of times more jinn than human. Linda, this is page 103, sorry. There are thousands and thousands of times more jinn than humans. And I want to read this as well. Um, let's see. I thought well, basically, all right, I thought I had underlined these correctly. Basically, all of creation is constantly recycling itself. And so what he's saying is that you could be combing your hair with a comb that was once a human being, or your television set could be made out of what used to be a dinosaur, or there are basically all of creation is constantly recycling itself. And the reason that I wanted to highlight all of these was to sort of create a sense of wonder. Because when I say that it is possible to create a marriage, to create a love relationship, where not only do you never have a moment of tension, do you never fight or argue, but you never even feel like fighting or arguing. You never get on each other's nerves, where you truly live in some kind of a happily ever after all the time, unconditionally, without compromise. Raise your hand in the chat if you think that that's absolutely impossible. Hey, no one's raising their hand. You are so dialed in to the truth of what I'm presenting here today, because I can either that or you're having the same kind of technical issues that I'm having. My wife and I got married. Sidi married us in, I think, 2003, and we used to fight and argue all the time. And I can tell you that today we couldn't fight or argue if we had to. We would not be able to keep a straight face. And in today's world, we take it for granted that, of course, you're going to have to fight. Of course, you're going to clash. Of course, there's going to be tension in a marriage. But really, the whole purpose of a marriage is to work through all of these unresolved issues around love, to complete yourself and to complete each other and become spiritually whole. What does it mean to become spiritually whole? It means that you are supporting each other in completing all of your qualities, all of your potentials for shining the essential Adamic form that we are made of. All of our unrealized potentials, instead of asking your partner codependently to fulfill those needs for you. And it's such a beautiful, simple teaching, because really all that's happening is that when you feel that you are going into that your partner is not giving you the love you need, you're going into fight or flight. Your nervous system is going into fight or flight. And all it takes to break through that is to do nothing, is to develop the emotional infrastructure to create the relationship with your nervous system, which is telling you that something's wrong, and realize that the only reason it's telling you something is wrong is because an old childhood trauma of being rejected, of being abandoned, of being mistreated, of feeling controlled, of feeling misunderstood. Something is reminding you of this. and it's triggering your defense response. So you go into fight or flight. So when you become fully present in your body, you realize that there is no threat. Fight or flight is a biological survival response that is designed to save your life in life or death situations. So if you demonstrate in the body to your master consciousness, to the witness, that if you give it an extended period of awareness that there is no threat, without going into a narrative of what you think this means, that they don't love you, or that they, this isn't fair. But if instead you are fully present with yourself and you learn the tools and the techniques, and I'm going to share some very specific tools and techniques that you can apply, you develop a psycho-emotional infrastructure that exists as a potential within you. And suddenly you heal the past by loving in the present, when you realize that you and your partner each have complementary issues. Each of you in that moment doesn't feel safe. And so rather than going into a defensive posture of I'm not getting my needs met, you actually heal both of your issues by taking the initiative to give love in that moment. And there are nuances to this, but the more you do this with each other, the more it becomes what you expect from each other, so that you break through these old patterns of on an unconscious level expecting conflict, and you start to expect to create love with each other. Now, I'm a little, I had to relocate, so I don't have everything as set up as I had originally. This is from the introduction to the taste of the love. Know that the task of the perfect-minded and the honorably spirited is to achieve ultimate happiness, that is, immortal life in the upper world, and to witness the lights of holiness and enjoy the beauty of holy life, holy light. This happiness comes only to the pure spirit that is given aid by godly care and directed to the true path that leads to true love and longing for the godly light. By achieving this happiness, the spirit achieves levels of joy that have not been seen, heard, or imagined by human beings. That is the purpose of marriage. Your partner is God in human form. What Sidi's describing here is an internal experience. Your partner is the place where you can experience this kind of internal gnosis with another human being at the most complete level. Love is not a feeling. Love is a state of consciousness. Love is not an emotion. It is a state of consciousness. Sidi writes in The Secret of the Love of God on page 70, you, men and women, have been given the total freedom to choose whomever you want and to do what you want. But marriage is a walking towards Allah if a person knows how to walk through the marriage. and how through it to reach the station of unity and oneness. Listen to me. The world is not a safe place. If you are weak, the world will exploit you and try to break you. If you are eccentric or weird, the world will marginalize you. But the marriage is the one place where you have a contract. You say, I love how weird you are because you love how weird I am. And every way that you're broken, I'm going to love you until you heal, because that's what you're going to do for me. And if we can't heal, we're going to love each other anyway. The world is not a safe place, but the marriage is the one place that we actually have the power to create peace on earth. And if we create peace on earth in our marriage, if everybody did this, then people would not be taking their unresolved issues and projecting them out into the world in the form of anger or frustration or blame or greed, war, materialism, addiction. If you look down on the earth from outer space, you can see light and you can see dark. You can see, over here is a war. Over here are people being violent to each other. Over here is a Walmart where a mother or a father is smacking their child. Dark. Or you can look down and you can see light. You can see there's someone helping a little old lady across the street. There's someone giving a child an ice cream cone, or rescuing a shelter dog. Light and dark. We are all responsible for our space. So if we're looking down at your house from outer space, are we seeing light or dark? If we're looking down at the quality of connection between you and your beloved, are we seeing light or dark? If we're looking at your hearts, are we seeing light or dark? We say in the therapy culture, we talk about a feeling tone, the feeling tone of a house. So you say, when you walk in there, what does it feel like? Does it feel light and free? Does it feel like everybody's walking on eggshells? Does it feel like somebody died? Everyone's depressed? What is the feeling tone that we are creating? Love is a choice. It is something that the more you do it, the more the energy of your connection refines and becomes lighter and takes on a momentum of its own. So learning how to make that choice even when you feel uncomfortable, and thus breaking through the temporary discomfort to achieve a permanent state of care, is the deepest marriage work that you can do. Our deepest need as we journey into marriage and relationship and into Gnosis is to experience ourselves as love, to know ourselves as love, and to share that love with our partner and with our family. So anything else degrades it's out of harmony with the entire intention of the human journey. The human journey, on one level, is simply the increased capacity to emotionally self-regulate in progressively challenging situations, or rather to self-regulate to achieve a kind of stability that is made of love. So in other words, when you're a little baby, you learn not to pee and poop yourself. And then you get a couple of years older and you learn not to just butt to the front of the line, or you can't just interrupt people when they're talking. And as we get older, these life tasks are of increasingly recognizing and being able to discern temporary impulses from established qualities of being that are healthy and that create that can perpetuate in expansive ways that organically just expand if we learn how to get out of our own way. But we limit ourselves based on our experiences. And a lot of times people, they don't know how to communicate because no one ever taught them how to communicate. People don't know that they don't have to fight. People don't understand that the way that they're speaking sounds kind of disrespectful or dismissive or selfish. They just don't know it. And an issue is that instead of being coached and mentored by our parents, what too often we are taught when we make a mistake, that our mistakes define us, that there's something wrong with us for making a mistake. So what we need from our parents is a kind of honesty about the human condition, where they say, yeah, you made a mistake, I made mistakes too. All of us make mistakes every day of our life. And the great thing is that we learn from them. I'm going to help you, son or daughter. Let's do this. Here, try it again. Let's see if we get it right. Okay. Oh, you made it. All right. So that wasn't it either. I'm going to coach you. So we got this. There's nothing wrong with you. We're going to figure out how to do this in a way that's effective and that cultivates qualities of excellence in you. Instead, we're punished through the withholding of love. We're blamed for embarrassing our parents, or we're coached with punishment. So fast forward 20 years later to our marriage, and when someone says, I feel like I'm not getting the love that I need, all we hear is, there's something wrong with you. I don't like you. You're screwing up. Too often in sessions, I'll have somebody say, I really feel like I need some more love and some more affection because I'm lonely. And the other person will say, stop criticizing me. So learning how to communicate about sensitive topics in ways that create healing and that don't trigger our partner is such a simple skill. But too often we ourselves are frozen with fight, flight, or freeze in fear. And so learning the tools to be able to communicate and connect about any topic is, that's the work that we learn how to do. So Sidi says in The Religion of Unity that divine existence is limitless and eternal. This planet that we live on is only one drop in an ocean of limitless existence. And look how people are crazy and fight for this lower realm, for the pictures and metaphors of this realm. Well, what does that mean? It means that everything is a metaphor. It means that, for example, if one of you is always frustrated because the other one doesn't do the dishes, if the two of you are getting along and one of you doesn't do the dishes, you'll say, you didn't do the dishes again, hon. Oh, I hate that. Oh my gosh. Come on, can't we do better? I love you so much. But if the two of you are not getting along, then they say, and you didn't do the dishes. You don't care about me. You don't care about this marriage. We project every situation is just a metaphor for how much we think we love or we don't love each other. So learning how to always be communicating on a spiritual level, I love you, I care about you, with every word, there is a way to communicate anything to another human being in a way that cares for their heart and makes them feel honored and respected. So on a vibrational level, we're either talking to someone like they're an opponent or like they are a partner. If you speak to someone like they are an opponent, they are automatically going to respond like an opponent. They're going to accept that invitation. Whereas if you talk to someone like a partner, if you have the tools and the skills to do that, then they will accept that invitation. So that's what I teach. So I want to ask at this point, I was hoping to sort of troubleshoot a little bit and see if there were any kind of real life situations that that anybody might want to bring to me that we could address that I could very easily troubleshoot. So if anybody has some kind of a relationship situation regarding anything, regarding finances, regarding family, like in-laws, or if there's some kind of a conflict where you feel like you can't get along, you feel like you have to choose between your partner and your family, anything at all, really, I can address that. So if anything comes up for anybody, just just raise your hand and put it in the chat, and I'd be glad to do that. I would love to do that. Now, what we're talking about here is learning how to master your limbic system, which is your fight or flight response. And the metaphor that I use is it's like when the fire alarm goes off in a building, when you know that there is no fire. So the alarm sounds really obnoxious and alarming, and it's going, and but nobody's jumping up and frantically running for the exits. Everybody's like, my God, that's so annoying. I hope they get that straight. So you have to create that same relationship with your emotional fight or flight response. When your partner brings up a triggering topic or issue, you'll feel that feeling in your belly. You'll feel that your jaw will clench, whatever your tension response is. And you have to be fully present in your body and notice your breath and just breathe through it. And over time, you get the skill to just relax no matter what the situation is. So let's see. I think I want to go into my my swim system. All right. So I've kind of created this acronym that you can use in any situation of tension where you haven't learned how to walk through it yet. So, and it's called SWIM. What I want to say is that in all of the spiritual work that I've done, all the psychotherapy work that I've done, there's all the groups that I've been a part of, there's always a component where they have each of the participants just stare at each other, just get face to face with each other and look into each other's eyes and just look and see what's coming up, and notice that just these involuntary responses are coming up. It could be anything. It could be love, it could be hate, it could be anxiety, it could be whatever's coming up, and just notice that there's no reality to it. Notice that there's no significance to it. It's real, but there's no, the relationship that you can create with the other person is a choice. And the first thing you have to do is notice that you are physically safe. Notice that there is no, there's nothing but the opportunity to connect lovingly if you have the right words to say and the right ways of accessing this energy within yourself. So my SWIM system, this acronym, is the tool that is the primary tool that I give to people to use in these situations. So whenever a conflict comes up, whether you're talking about finances, whether you're talking about, maybe there are parenting differences, maybe there's scheduling issues. It can be something very profound, or it can be something very superficial. The first thing you do is you take a big diaphragmatic breath. You breathe into your belly. You take you inhale deeply through your nose and fill your belly with air. And then you exhale through your mouth. And this has the effect of shifting your nervous system from the sympathetic fight or flight mode into the parasympathetic relaxed mode. And then you swim. S, surrender the need to be right. Surrender that sense of urgency that right now I need the experience of you knowing that you are wrong and I am right. The reason you feel that urgency is because your fight or flight system, in a life or death situation, there's urgency. If I don't fight you right away, then I might die. Or if I don't flee from you, I might die. So but as I've been saying, if you just consciously experience the discomfort, you teach the master consciousness of your being that there is no threat, that you are completely safe. Then W, wonder. Wonder why they don't feel safe. The trick is to understand that if you are in fight or flight, they are in fight or flight, because it is impossible to feel safe in the presence of an opponent. And as soon as you go into fight or flight, you are perceiving each other as opponents. The reasons that we feel like our partner has suddenly shifted into being an opponent is because of our primary wounds from childhood, usually, or it could be from our school experiences. It could be from our professional experiences. Somewhere along the line, we've had imprinted into ourselves fear of being rejected, of being emotionally abandoned, of being controlled, of being misunderstood. There's nothing more agonizing than to feel misunderstood. And in a marriage, the way that we feel misunderstood is we feel like our partner is calling us basically a bad person. And we usually, our hearts are so good that when we get accused implicitly or explicitly of being selfish or having some other qualities of that don't honor our essential goodness and light. It is so devastating. So we're afraid of being controlled. We're afraid of being mistreated. So ask yourself in this situation, why does my partner feel this way? Because you complement, you each feel a similar, you're each bringing your wound, and it usually reflects each other's wounds. Then I invite them into a safe space with the words, I care about how hurt you feel. I don't ever want you to feel that way with me. Or you can say, I care about every single thing that you're saying.
Would you repeat that, please?
I care about every single thing that you're saying. Everything you're saying is so important to me. Or you can say, I care about how upset you are. I don't ever want you to feel that way with me. But what most people get wrong, they say to me all the time, they're like, Ray, I tried what you said, but it didn't work. They did not really implement what I'm saying, because this is what they do instead. They say, honey, I care about how hurt you feel. I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to hurt you. And what their partner's nervous system hears is, what is your problem? Why are you such a pain? Why are you, accusing me of, why are you so stupid? Why are you so? It is so important that your energy is aligned, that you learn how to sort of play your instrument, as actors refer to your body and your voice. You're soothing, what you're communicating at on an energetic level is, I don't ever want to hurt you. When I see you hurt, it just makes me care and want to make it better. And it makes me not ever want to, it makes me want to love you and make it right. You need to be aligned. You need to find the place inside of yourself that actually feels that way. Because what you're going to find is that actually you are speaking from a different place. You actually are speaking from a defensive place. If you are speaking from a defensive place, then you can only be defensive against an opponent. So your partner is going to hear that they are your opponent, and their nervous system is going to respond in that way. So it's just about being conscious and present, and you have to kind of spend some time finding that place inside of yourself and preparing for it, preparing for these moments. This is why it's work, but it's the kind of work, it's like riding a bike. You're rewiring. Once you get it right, you never forget it. Once you get it right, you eliminate conflict from your marriage, from your relationship forever. And obviously you can apply this to every relationship. S, surrender the need to be right. W, wonder, why don't they feel safe? Why do they feel rejected, abandoned, mistreated, violated, controlled, ignored? I invite them into a safe space. I care about how hurt you feel. I don't ever want you to feel that way with me. Every single thing that you are saying is so important. I care about how upset you are. I don't ever want you to feel that way. And then M, model for them how you want them to talk to you. So you could say, if we're seeing this differently right now, that does not make me mad at you. It makes me care about how you feel. And of course, I care about how I feel too. Let's care about how each other feel and problem solve together. And I love you so much. You're always assessing their pain point. So you're always assessing. So, a lot of times people feel like if whatever they bring up is going to trigger their partner, they don't know how to get in there because they know as soon as they bring it up, their partner is just going to get defensive. The way that you bypass that is by assessing the very quality that your partner is going to get defensive about and preempting it by honoring their intention, that quality within themselves. So, in other words, if you're going to talk about parenting, like you're going to say, oh, if you're thinking about a way that your partner parents your kids that you don't agree with, and you know that as soon as you bring it up, they're going to feel threatened because there's nothing that we get more defensive about than our parenting, because we all want to be incredible parents, and it's just such a sensitive topic. Okay, so that's the pain point. So when you bring it up, you say, the first thing out of your mouth is, honey, you know what? You know what I know about you, hon? You are the most loving parent in the world. I know that you would jump in front of a bus to save our kids. I know that you are so, one of the things I love about you the most is how loyal you are to our kids. Like they're the most important thing to you, and being a good parent is like your number one priority. And I feel so grateful that you have this value, that I'm just so thankful that you're this committed to being an excellent parent. But I was actually thinking though, honey, there's this thing that I wanted to bring up, and just right. Do you see, like you preempt their fear, and you get so that their nervous system doesn't feel like you're about to attack this core wound. Or maybe I don't know if there's like a money issue. So okay, let's say that you want to. One thing that a lot of couples have is one of them, they feel like the other one is irresponsible with spending money. Okay, so what would be the core wound that you'd be afraid of bringing up if you wanted to bring up to your partner that they're spending too much money, right? Well, it would be that they, on some core level, are going to be terrified that they're not going to be able to spend money anymore, right? They're going to hear immediately their fight or flight nervous system is going to just see all these necessities that they're about to be deprived of, that you're going to take away from them, and suddenly these things that make their life worth living are going to be ripped from them. So you would say something like, hon, it is so important that you have every single thing that you need in our life together. It is so important. I want you to know this. I don't want you to go without, or to, I want you to have a rich life where you feel like anything that you need, you are provided for without question. And it makes me happy to see you living your best life and getting all of your needs met. And it is so important to me that all of your needs are met. I was looking at our bank statement last week, and I kind of noticed that, right, you preempt whatever you think their pain point is going to be by making them feel safe. See, the reason that we get so triggered is that all we want from our partner is safety. That's why we're with them. All we want from our partner is this energy of all is well, I love you, and whatever issues are coming up, we're going to work through them together, and all is well, and you can come to me and I'm going to be your rock. That's what we want. So when we come to our partner with a concern where we don't feel safe, they react against it because we're literally bringing our energy of a lack of safety into their space. And on just this animal survival level, we are triggering the very place inside of them that was wounded as a child when we needed our parents to say, yeah, we're facing a challenge right now, but all is well. We learn how to deal with life's challenges from our parents. They model for us. So if we're watching our parents, face challenges and they feel strong and reassuring, then we internalize a sense that we can handle whatever life throws at us. But if we watch our parents visibly overwhelmed, agitated, throwing tantrums, then we internalize the lesson that, yeah, life is scary, life is overwhelming, and I don't always have what it takes. So this is what gets triggered when we come into our partner's space and we say, I'm uncomfortable, I'm afraid. And learning how to recognize that we are being triggered into fight or flight, that there is no actual danger, and then how to partner with our partner as the only issue is whatever is breaking the quality of love connection between us. That's it. There is no other issue. There is no other problem as far as the marriage goes. There are all these stressors. Why would a stressor turn you against each other? The stressors are designed to make you come closer together and to turn to each other for support. And to say, how are we going to take this on together to deepen our connection? But we just simply never learned how to do this. So being able to go to each other and say, I'm scared, hold me, or I see you struggling, everything's okay, instead of, I see you struggling, you're making me uncomfortable, stop it. These behaviors that I'm suggesting are actually what we are organically designed to bring them into reality. This is the journey of self-realization and ultimately of God realization. It's using every challenge that we face to cultivate a dormant quality of excellence. And in the Sufi way, we have these qualities explicitly laid out for us as the 99 qualities of God. And, the quality that I find the most important and the one that people have the most trouble with is patience. Because the experience of patience is sublime. But too often, people say, Ray, yeah, I was working on my patience and you would have been so proud of me because, I was sitting there, I was being patient, but come on, man. I mean, at some point, and I have to point out that is actually the opposite of patience. That's actually impatience. When you break through to a full realization of the quality of patience, you feel completely at peace inside. And so cultivating this quality is one of the biggest blessings that you can give yourself and your partner. So as I'm getting a little deeper into these talks, as I'm relaxing into this presentation. Doesn't anybody have any kind of issues you want to talk about? Come on, can't we troubleshoot something?
Raise your hand if you'd like to speak.
I am so blessed to have such a trouble-free audience. There's so much I can learn from all of you.
Here we
you
go.
know,
Anissa has a question.
Anissa, Zuleika, wonderful. Beloved, unmute yourself and let's have at it.
Assalamualaikum, Ray. How are you?
Hey, nice to see you.
Just a quick question. What are your thoughts on using, of course, talk therapy and Sufi healing? But if you were to add something like, I think it's like very popular now on social media, somatic healing, where they kind of like talk about using physical processes to release emotions. Can you talk about how that can also play into the mix?
One of my, well, everything is somatic, really. And one of my very favorite troubleshooting techniques at first is to grab a pillow and scream as loudly as you can into it and really purge all that energy, because it is actually an energetic quantity. You know, I think it's okay if I share this. Ibrahim, my beloved Ibrahim, I hope it's okay that I'm sharing this. Do you remember way back when you used to have the, I think it was called the energy release technique? This is like 25 years ago. And it was pretty similar to what I'm describing. It actually was, this is like when he was just transitioning into Sufi healing. But it actually was like releasing toxic energy any way that you can, if I got that right. Hope it's okay that I said that, Ibrahim. Correct me if I'm wrong. But what is your concern, Anissa?
I guess it's just me as no specific concerns right now, but I guess as a healer, it's interesting for me to hear your experiences for healing, but also kind of connect that with different themes on social media and just your question on somatic healing. So no personal concern right now.
Right. Well, but I guess what I'm hearing in that is
Yeah.
you're worried there might be a disconnect or somehow they might not harmonize. Am I getting that right?
No, it's almost like and I guess this may be a deeper question. When you're dealing with a patient and obviously maybe they have anger issues, like how far do you take it on a first trial? How many tools are you using? And maybe this is a bigger question. I'm sorry about that. Because for some people, they come into your office and they're like, yes, I want to get rid of all that anger. And for other folks, you may start a healing practice with them and it takes them a little bit too far.
Right. Yeah, I understand. This is something that, you become increasingly intuitive with the more work you do. It's important to always co-regulate, and it is there's no magic formula for this kind of intuition, but you do just have to have a sense of someone's how balanced or imbalanced someone may be. And it is definitely wise to go more slowly than not. And you're always affirming someone's strength and their position of stability and their position of power. And you're really being very, baby steps are better than diving in until you get really secure within yourself as to, after a while, you'll you'll be able to tell, you'll be able to master it. But until you feel that, baby steps are best. Did that answer your question?
Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum assalam, sister. I think Zuleika was next, if she still has a question.
Assalamu alaikum. It's so funny that you mentioned patience and sabor, because patience, it feels like there is plenty of, like Allah has me in a flattened state rather than a vertical state. But it's the surrender that goes with the sabor. And I'm noticing that how deeply you surrender. And when you think you're deeply, deeply surrender, then that little sabor kicks in and goes, sabor, sabor, I need you more. Alhamdulillah. It feels like the two are intertwined so deeply.
Yes. Well, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. Because really what you're learning is all is well. That's what you're learning. All is well. Because when you're cultivating, what we're learning how to do is put love first. And there's always more than enough. The universe is made of love. Allah is love. So there's an infinite supply of constantly outpouring, downpouring, expanding love to surrender to. And you are exactly right. Patience is, in fact, surrendering to that state of consciousness in which nothing is wrong. Like I opened this talk asserting that you can have a marriage and a family life. A family life. Think about that. Oh, kids are going to hit teenager and this or what, with the kids, impossible. The families of origin. You can create a marriage dynamic, a relationship dynamic, and a family dynamic where there is literally nothing but the experience of love based on the depth of surrender. And this is the pinnacle of Gnosis. I mean, there is no such thing as a pinnacle because there's always further that you can travel. But one milestone of Gnosis is achieving this state where there's never a problem, because the only problem that could ever exist is being disconnected from God. If you're connected from God, then there is no problem. Then you're just discovering what Allah wants for you and how you're supposed to evolve together and individually through His light. How you are going to metabolize this journey into an ever greater consciousness of listening and understanding the divine orders. So that was a very good observation.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, sister. Samaya Samantha.
Hey, Abdullah.
Hey, nice to talk to you. Oh, I'm so sorry. Someone had something in the chat too, but since I already called on Samaya, let me get to the chat right after her. Thank you for your patience. Patience, Sabor, awesome. See, Sabor, patience. See, we're doing it in action. Yes, I can see I love it. I'm getting some pushback. I love a good fight. That's what I'm all about. So let's, Kim.
Are you sure you don't want to take her first, the chat person? Okay.
Well, since I already called on you, indeed, patience, indeed. Go ahead, Samaya.
So, you're talking about these communications, and my sense is in my world that it's me because I mean, if I fix my stuff, whatever my triggers are that they're triggering, then things get better. And so if I'm with somebody who doesn't like to respond, and I was thinking, well, they have a hearing issue, but if you say something that they need to respond to, they're Johnny on the spot. So I'm like, wow, my issue is feeling valued or heard. So I'm with somebody who triggers the heck out of that. And by not responding, unless it's God, it's a really major thing, you know, like I hear a voice that says, ask him this, and I'm like walking through the living room and I say something and he responds like that. And I'm like, how did that happen? Clearly I have to act on this, you know? So, but normally he doesn't, like, he's so checked out, but he's in his own world. So how do you,
Yeah.
you
So
engage first?
I think what I hear you saying is that he might have some he's selectively responsive. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. And I can see the traumas in him that make him that way. And he knows he shuts down.
This is about how you hold space. And this is about learning. This is about owning your value and empowering yourself to learn how to bring the love to him as you get your needs met. Learning how to do that. And this is always going deeper into stillness, slowing everything down, and being so you are be afraid on a nervous system on like a gut level of being shut down, and that's just going to be demoralized. That's going to totally demoralize you. And that means that you feel like there's a point at which you no longer have value or power. And this is something that was internalized in you for very, long time ago. This is a pattern.
Mhm.
So now this is an incredible opportunity for you to learn how to be fully present in love and learn what does it take to connect with him? What does it take how do you hold that space? How do you not let him check out? And this is a sort of this is a learning curve. It's discovering where you don't believe in yourself, right? On a nervous system level, I know that you know intellectually that you are valuable and that you deserve all of these things. None of this is personal. It all has to do with just how you wired to prevent yourself from experiencing trauma. So when you were young, what happened was love was withheld from you if you were too pushy. You weren't pushy, but you were made to feel as if you were pushy or needy. And that, so you were, you learn not to push it too far. And so now you must learn the tools to connect in a way that creates in a way where you don't to learn how to connect. Do you feel like I'm getting at something accurate, or am I just off on a wild tangent here?
No, I feel like you're totally on target. Exactly. But
I knew that. I totally knew that. Yeah.
it's my growth pattern. I mean, it's my whole journey in this life. So trying to kind of clean this place in me or allow it to be filled with the love of God, like watch it, right? So
Gentleness. Listen, everyone responds to love, and honestly, as humbling as it is, we are always confronted with ways that we are not as whole and loving as we think we are. I'm this great person. I'm this good-hearted person. I'm this awesome, light, and I'm so sincere, and I'm so, all this stuff. But really, when you are just shining like the sun, and when you are shimmering like the moon, no one can resist it. No one can resist it. And so doing the internal work, when you are purified enough of tensions and polarities. So this is indeed your work of freedom. There is no problem. This is an incredible opportunity for you to experience yourself, to become whole. And then guess what? You're whole. You're whole. You're no longer needy. And then you can make whatever choices you want to make.
It's
right?
very
You can make
beautiful,
whatever
yeah.
choices you want to make from a place of wholeness. And it's no longer this feeling of being a victim. What is a victim? A victim is someone that doesn't feel they have the power to create the outcome that they need. One way or another, you have that power, but it comes from becoming whole in Allah. And this path, there's nothing like it. There is nothing like it. There's nothing that is as complete and deep and abundant, rich, eternal. It is such a, I mean, there's nothing like it.
So I guess, I mean, I get this. So to me, it's all me. It's my journey,
Yes.
uncovering how to, like you said, totally for me, slow it down and how to make them feel loved, but yet get my love from Allah, because that's what matters. And that comes through. I mean, when I'm there, it's great, but when I'm shaken, it's hard to be in the pole of Allah. Be with Allah, my nurturer.
And the way to break through your own sense of limitation is to care for their needs. Now, I'm not suggesting that you be a doormat. And by the way, I want to be really clear that no one should ever allow themselves to be abused, violated, mistreated, ever. If you're being abused or emotionally or physically, run. Get out of there as fast as you can. That includes emotional abuse. Or yeah. Unless you feel that it's a very, very circumstantial and not entrenched pattern, but it's just things have gotten too volatile between the two of you, but it's not your true natures. But having said that, the reason that this is not counseling you to be a doormat is because you're not doing it from a place of fear. You're not doing it from a place of appeasement. You're doing it from a place of empowerment. You're doing it from a place of empowerment. See, at this level, you are recognizing that there is no intellectual discussion, there's no dialogue, and there's no conflict going on. You are simply helping your partner through an emotional episode. You are helping your partner through an emotional episode.
You're saying not just in my scenario, but in all these conflict type scenarios.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. That's how you get out of your own way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you, brother. That's very beautiful. And I'm at a place where it's not, where I'm not, there's not abuse anymore. Alhamdulillah, where I made it through that. So at least I'm with a very good person. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, I'm glad to hear that.
You are.
All right. So
So Abdullah, we're coming to the end of our time. We've got a couple of questions in the chat. Maybe why don't you read those and perhaps combine them and speak to those, and that'll be our final question for the day.
All right. What do we do when we have resentment towards our partner or with a partner that you feel to be manipulative? Well, I'm just going to troubleshoot that really quickly. So look, if you sense the potential for healing and goodness in your partner, then learning how to, well, those are two questions from what do we do when we have resentment and to with a partner that you feel to be manipulative. The resentment piece, you have to understand that their actions make sense to them. So any way that you are dismissive of their experience is going to shut down any possibility of healing. But what people can't get their minds around the fact that you can honor, there's space for all of it. It's not, well, if we deal with your issues, then we don't, if we deal with your reality, then my reality doesn't count. You learn how, this is again, the patience piece. You have nothing but time, as long as you commit to it, to explore everything. So the short answer to the resentment piece is you are I mean, that's obviously a complicated, I don't think I have the time for it, unfortunately. But the short answer is you deserve to have all of your concerns resolved, fully resolved. Don't settle for less than that. And one component of that is understanding your partner's reality without judgment. I know that's really hard to hear, because the fact is, if there is something distorted or narcissistic or unhealthy about their perspective, their lens, that will reveal itself. That will reveal itself. So be patient. Manipulative, you have to decide if they are stuck in a toxic way of being, then there's not much you can do. I'd like to think that all of us have the potential to fully evolve. Somehow we're all designed that way, and yet clearly many of us are not destined to fully evolve. So what do we do with that? I guess the short answer would be to assess if you feel like there is the potential for growth there. And then if there is, all is healed through patience, love, and care, and a uncompromising commitment to exploring every single block to the flow of love and care between you. Every single block. Anything left unexplored is just going to fester and ultimately metastasize, to mix metaphors. So between the festering and the metastasizing, it's just going to be a disaster. So make sure that you deal with everything. You'll reach a point where the issues stop coming up, but you're not there yet. Okay, these are great tools, beloved. Some partners not willing to collaborate. They don't care about the better half. There's an imbalance of exchange and love in the relationship. And if one partner is refusing to communicate, work on themselves, or go to therapy, well, if someone's refusing to do the work, then you have a choice to make. Either you empower yourself to learn how to possibly draw them into a dialogue, or you can assess that it's not worth that the potential simply isn't there. You know, you're free. If the potential's not, you can do whatever you want. You could say, all right, I'm going to work on them, but it's going to take 5 years. Okay. That's what you're signing up for. Or I don't know if it's ever going to happen. Okay, that's what you're signing up for. Or you could say, screw this. I don't have time for this. I want to find something more harmonious. Or you could say, you know what? I don't know how long this is going to take, but I think that if I empower myself enough, I might be able to surprise myself with how fast we can create a breakthrough. So I think that just for right now, because I've been given the hook, I think that's, I guess that's it.
It may be the hook for today, Abdullah, but this is obviously a rich landscape for learning and understanding, and it might behoove us, if beloveds want, to find other avenues that allow greater time and more interaction, because there certainly seems to be quite a bit of interest. So I think maybe we can have those conversations going forward.
Yes, absolutely. And actually, I'm going to put in the chat. I do have a. Let me see here. Forgive me. I'm putting a link in the chat where I do have a very cheap resource that you can purchase. I wrote these 2 books. Oh, come on, man. I'm so sorry, Pat Abdullah. Just a second. Well, I'm sorry, I can't grab it.
Send me an email and I'll put it
Okay.
in the show notes. So
Okay,
for those
sounds
who are
good.
watching this recording, it's in the show notes below.
Very good. Okay. All right. Thank you all so much. I hope that this was of some use and interest to everybody. And thank you.
This was incredible.